How to get out of debt and become wealthy. I'm going to break that down because 99.9% of you don't know how to do it. In fact, you have the formula completely reversed from what I'm going to tell you. So get a pen and paper. This is a new one and very different. So the three things I'm going to talk about is the difference between a lifestyle cycle and a wealth cycle. Then I'm going to talk about debt. Like, what is the debt you have? Is it good debt, bad debt? What quality of debt is it? Number three, I'm going to talk about the number one way, and frankly, the only way in the Millionaire Maker book, how to get out of debt, become wealthy, and do it within 3 to 5 years. But it's a very specific formula. So what is a lifestyle cycle versus a wealth cycle? Well, I made up those terms when I wrote the Millionaire Maker book. So if you think about a P&L and a balance sheet, which for those newbies out there, that means profit and loss and assets and liability, right? So your balance sheet and your P&L. So if you look at them, how we're trained is if you need money, go get a job. If you need money, go get another job. If you need more money, get a third job. Some of you are doing that crazy model. I don't know why. It's like a 1960s model. If you want to make more money, become an entrepreneur. You say, well, I don't know how to do that. Well, I'm going to teach you how to do it. I teach it every 3 weeks. I teach a whole day of how to help you make money. And you have to crack that code. Now, you can stay an employee and try to do this without an entrepreneurial venture, but you're missing the entire tax code. You're missing everything about it. So a lifestyle cycle are those 99% that actually, live their life and they start using credit cards because they want a bigger life. The answer isn't to use your credit cards to expand your life. You got to make more money. So either need to do more in your job or get another job or better be an entrepreneur. So lifestyle cycle is the cycle that most people get caught where they look at their big debt load on the liability, right side. So say you owe whatever for a car, your house, you look at all your debt. That actually informs the expense every month. So whatever your whole debt is, the expense is with the monthly charge that you have to pay just to keep that all cycle going. So that's a lifestyle cycle. Robert Kiyosaki called it the rat race. So you're going to stay in this little cycle and there is no way to break out of it unless you create a wealth cycle. So a wealth cycle is only focused on the income and asset side of the columns, all right, the financial statements. So how much more income can you make? And as you're making it, instead of, create more lifestyle debt, you actually put money to work. So now let's move to good debt versus bad debt. So good debt is good debt, right? It's cheap debt. So first of all, I'll back up and say, what is debt? It's the cost of money. That's it. What does it cost you to get money towards you? So I'm a hard money lender. So people pay me to use my money, right? And that's good debt. So I'll give you my money. You're going to be in debt to me, say for $100,000. You're going to pay me 12% or 14%. That's good debt to me. It's not good debt to them because they could have gone to a bank and got 3% mortgage instead of use a hard money lender for 12, 14, 15%. Bad debt is just your lifestyle stuff, right? You go out to eat a lot. You buy, things you don't really need. They're, extra TVs, extra toys, extra stuff. The whole process of becoming wealthy is getting your asset more than your liabilities to create a millionaire. So it's assets minus liabilities, net worth. In a wealth cycle, you're creating more money, putting it to work in new assets, and then creating passive income. So it's active income to an asset that then creates passive income. And you get that cycle and you give that a lot of attention during your week. How do you create new money and how do you put that to work in new assets? And if you have a company, one of the biggest mistakes those of you who have a company do is you're putting all your new income into growing your company, which is an expense of your company. You're not actually putting any of the money away. I have a couple of millionaires that have actually joined our program lately. They're millionaires on paper, but when you look at their asset column, it's not that big. It's less than 500,000. And you're saying, well, where does all that money go? Well, they're spending it. They're spending it back into their company. They're spending it on lifestyle. They're, remodeling their house. They're doing all sorts of things that are interesting, but not helpful when you're younger and you can have those growth years. So good debt versus bad debt. Well, you have to get rid of the bad debt. So let's just talk about that. The way to get rid of bad debt is you make more money. That is the answer. You don't go reconstitute all your debt. I mean, if you have to, for some of you that have done this so wrong for so long and you're at 18, 20, 21% interest rates on credit cards, you may have to do a debt consolidation. Those are expensive. The fees are huge. The faster answer is make more money and start moderating how you're spending in your lifestyle. A lot of you incur debt because you want a bigger life. So you outlive your paycheck and then you put the rest of the month on a credit card. There's no way out of that rat race, as Kiyosaki would say, other than make more money, slowly pay down your debt. So I want you to get the Millionaire Maker. I have an ebook copy in the link below. So go grab it, read page 194, put yourself into my sort of a millionaire debt plan. So if you had, say, $30,000 in debt, I'm gonna tell you to go invest it, right? Go invest it, let's just say for 12%. That's $3,600 of cash flow, that's $300 a month. You say, well, $300 a month is not going to get me very far. Well, it does. You're going to use that $300 and you're going to apply it to your bad debt until you cycle that down. So you're just going to get out of debt slower, but you're going to maintain your principal of $30,000 invested properly. That's going to get you out of debt. In the meantime, while that thing's moving over there, you are going to go make some more money. So I'm also going to give you a ticket to my Millionaire Intensive and Marketplace where I teach you how to make money. So in the links below, you're going to have my ebook copy of The Millionaire Maker and tickets to my event. If you've been before and you're on my channel and you still don't know how to make money, you just have to keep coming back. There's no way. I've been doing this for 22 years inside my company and then all the years with Kiyosaki. So let's just call it over 25 years. If what I was teaching doesn't work, I wouldn't have the amount of clients that I have. So it works. You're not working. And that's the biggest problem. You won't do what we ask you to do, which is you're going to have to learn to sell, right? Entrepreneurs do three things really well. They know how to market and get a lead. They know how to make that lead a client by selling them, and they know how to manage the cash flow when it comes in. So I have a very specific system on how you're going to do it. So before I tell you the number one way that you're going to go from debt to wealthy, you got to subscribe to my channel. I need you here, not just subscribing and click the notification, but when that notification comes in the morning, every morning, 5 days a week, we are here 10 to 12, 15 minutes. So you need to be in action every day and you need to watch it. And at least what's one lesson? One of my challenges for our big table clients, which is our real community of millionaires, is 365 habits. New habits in 2023 will totally change your life. Or just pick a year span and change a habit a day. Little things like stop using your personal card, use your corporate card. Stop using your debit card, use a credit card. Every one of these simple behaviors is going to have you learn how to make money and create some wealth. So the number one way you're going to create wealth is following this exact model. You're going to make new money. You're going to put that into assets, right? New money to assets, at least a lot of it. Some of it could be allocated to your bad debt. You'll kind of see that formula as you read 194 in the book. So you have to get rid of the bad debt, but if it takes 3 to 5 years to do it while you're becoming wealthy, you do it concurrently. So many of you think, oh, I have to be out of debt, then I'll come work with you. No, because you're going to screw it all up. You're going to spend all your principal and base. So now you have no money to work with because you're just going to pay off all the debt. So then for that moment, you feel fabulous because you're debt free for what, a minute? And then you're back in your cycle of using your credit cards for a bigger lifestyle. So the only way you're going to fix it is you got to make new money. You got to make new assets. I mean, I don't care what your assets. You can buy real estate. You can buy, short-term rentals, do an Airbnb. You can arbitrage your Airbnb if you don't have any cash, which means you're going to find somebody who has Airbnb properties and you're going to marry them up with people who want to rent from them and you take 10% in the middle. That's an Airbnb arbitrage. There's lots of ways to make new money, but you have to be mentored and coached. Right now, I want you to go over to askloral.com. Ask any question, make a request, and our team will be back in touch with you. We have a full office in Carson City, Nevada. They will be calling you or texting you, emailing you back the answers to your questions. And if you want to come live, join my membership. And every second and fourth Monday, I am live on Ask Loral doing little business and money makeovers on people all for over an hour. So I love that process and I love to help you guys, but you got to stop worrying about your debt. And when you use good debt, my kids are finally getting it in the generational wealth planning, like debt's transferable inside of your estate. So if you had really good mortgages or really good projects that are cheap debt, like 2, 3, 4, even a sub 5%, why would you pay off all your debt to be debt free when you pass? All of that's just going to get passed to the next generation. You have to teach your kids how to run it. So if you have an inheritance and you're going to get money or your kids are going to get it, you better dig in, read, call our office, let me mentor you. But having debt and becoming wealthy in 3 to 5 years is extremely doable. You have to do it in exact sequence. So stay on this channel, share it with everybody. What are you learning every day? We're here for financial literacy, business literacy, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.